It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pandemonium. Trigger warning. I'm Hayden Hewitt, and I'm joined, of course, by Graham Plague Dr. Booth.
Fucking ready, Hayden.
You were born
so
ready.
Fucking ready.
You're prepped to fuck, yeah.
I'm all over this shit, mate. Ran out of hand soap today. There's one in the cupboard waiting to go, wasn't they? Fucking on it, mate.
Well, Mrs. Hewitt scored a couple of bottles of it the other day, along with some toilet paper, so we're good to go. I can shit and wash my hands at leisure. I'm very, very happy. Can't do them both at the same. I've not got the COVIDs, by the way. I've got a cold.
My missus has got a cold, man, and she's doing like 11-hour shifts. It's fucking mental. They want 170. I think I told you this already. They want 170 extra intensive care beds, and she can only produce one a day. It's just mental. It's going to take her half a year. She's never going to be ready. She's doing 11-hour shifts, then coming home going, oh,
it's madness.
She made tea when she got in tonight. She made a fucking lovely curry from scratch. I was like, okay, whilst I just slept. I've had a half day, darling.
Oh, you got her trained up then. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I saw your hard day earlier streaming your computer game. You play games like a fucking boomer.
Oh, shut up. It was good. It was a nice hangout, that. It was annoying the chat broke, but you know, what can you do?
Well, I'll stream Arizona Sunshine at some point. So... let's say hello. Kenny Ballbags in. Fantastic work. Sean MCK got gorgeous George Begonia. Cup of tea. Sutty's Rehab. Natalie Stacey. Hello, Natalie. How you doing? Aphid Lip. Good to see you. Oh, COVIDs. Blind Fury, Lee Howells, Fat Belly, and of course Smoke Steve. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us tonight. Now, Graham, I placed a poll on Twitter earlier.
Yep.
Asking if people would like to see daily trigger warnings. I said see, that might not have been the best move, but there have been 50 votes so far. And 90% have said yes.
My no didn't help then, did it?
No, 5 arseholes voted no. So
four assholes and me. I just wanted
no. 5 arseholes. I didn't need correction on that.
Yeah, that's just 90% of people that want to put you in an early grave, man. They ain't no way.
They love me. What are you talking about? So what I'm going to do over the next week or so, because obviously work is very limited. I know. 3 jobs have dropped out in the last couple of days.
For people that don't know, Hayden has been grafting his ass off to get the both of us work. It's been basically all Hayden, and yeah, but it's, you know, who wants 2 stinky mancs turning up with cameras and gear and getting everyone to stand close to each other and all that? It's like, no, okay, cool.
So that's being rethought. But there's a little bit of web work and things. But so what we need to do is, obviously, we need to be here for the people, Graham.
Yeah.
Giving them the truth and solutions. Now, what I am going to try and do is get the trigger warning app finished for Android.
Oh, nice.
Android only. And then rework a mobile version of the site so they can add it to their homepage. So if you've got the app, you'll get push notifications. So we'll either do video, we'll hang out where we can, be it playing games or just chilling out, so we can all just be together. You know, because a lot of us are going to be looking at some form of isolation very, very soon. So we might as well be as together as we can, I guess. And we'll also do stuff with the radio as well.
Yeah.
So if we don't want to get on cam, we can jump on the radio station and talk to you guys there. Topperoon says he hopes I said web work and not wet work. Let's not go into that just yet. Depends how desperate things get, dude.
I got I mean, I wouldn't mind doing more shows as well, and maybe some game stuff during the day as well, because I'm getting so fucking sick of this COVID thing already, and I'm just like, you know what? If I can just like, and I don't normally game during the day. I don't like to. I feel like no, I should be doing stuff more productive, but at the moment, I just need a fucking break. So if anyone wants to hang out during the day, it's almost certainly going to be a thing again. Come and join us. But I mean, fucking this morning, man, GMB, you had the editor of the Mirror going on demanding that the government does something about, the financial side of things, and he must have known full fucking well that there was a huge announcement coming later today. But that scumbag sat there on GMB scoring bullshit political points for the Labour Party, and he was like, he knew there was an announcement coming because it got announced the night before when Boris did his big thing. Because if anyone doesn't know, Boris is doing daily updates now, and they are worth a watch, actually. There's substance.
If only for the way he walks to that podium.
I know, but he said tomorrow would be the financial stuff. Specifically, the Chancellor's going to be here leading the speech, but all day, all fucking day. What about rent? What about mortgage? What about businesses?
I had a chat with 2 journalists this morning.
Yeah.
Because one of them said, why are they so reasonable on Twitter and so outrageous in print? Because he works for a publication that aren't outrageous. They just aren't. Excuse me, at least about things like this. So I said, well, they don't get paid for the personal tweets on Twitter. Everyone's got to be outraged. Everyone's got to be terrified. Now, I think what'd be cool is, we're not experts, although everyone knows that we know everything, and I'm always right. Painfully correct about most things. Graham, not so much. Don't take it personally, dude. We can't all be like me, dude. I'm sorry. And you're trying your best. You've improved a lot from that weird leftist you were when I met you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Aidan. Don't you fucking propagandize on me right now. I've had enough of this nonsense today.
I'll link people to some of your earlier Game 3 shows. They'll know exactly what you were.
Go on. What, me fucking arguing with people? No, I'm not even doing this. You fucking nonsense. You're Orwellian bullshit. It's like fucking Foxy. You remember Foxy when she came down? Oh, you were a communist last time I saw you. I was like, no, I wasn't. Everyone just assumed I was because I had long hair and wore old clothes. Everyone was like, oh, he's a fucking commie. I didn't even know what communism was. I just used to smoke weed and hang out with people. I didn't give a shit about their ideology. Fuck off.
Well, thank you for explaining yourself to me.
Fuck off.
But I think what we need is to pull away from... There's 2 areas of great concern here.
Yes.
The mainstream media sensationalism and the outright denial. So you've got the people like we're all doomed on one side, and you've got the it's just a cold on the other. Both are fucking dangerous. So, let's say we're not experts. We're not virologists. We don't claim to be. What we've got here is a disease that some scientists are still claiming came from animals. It's a novel coronavirus. Which meant originally it could only be passed from animal to animal and animal to person. However, it's mutated twice, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's 2. There's an A and a B one.
I think it's SNL, isn't it? SNL, and it's slippery.
Yeah, a lot of people don't seem to realise that.
No.
They're like, oh, well, it might be like SARS and not... No, it's already mutated. It already has. We're just hoping it doesn't do it again.
And one of the big concerns is from the side of people are going, well, everyone dies of the flu anyway. What's the big problem? Is that they're completely underestimating the effect this is genuinely going to have. This is some 10 times, based, by the way, solely on the statistics we have. We don't have an infinitesimal percentage of the information about this virus that we do about the flu. But the flu is a human disease. This is a coronavirus. This is not a human disease. Well, it is now, but it didn't, we have no natural immunity to this. So it's some 10 times more likely to kill based on the information that we have. We have no way of knowing how many people are actually infected in this country already. Now, today, I had lots of people telling me I was thick because I was questioning the idea of we should be testing everybody. They're saying everybody should be tested so we know what's going on. How does that work? Do we make everyone go for testing so they're all queuing at a medical centre, doing millions of tests, but by the way, we'd have to do them every 3 days. Can't just do them once.
No, it's a waste of time at this point, man. We're beyond that. We're way beyond that.
Absolutely futile endeavour. All our resources and funds should be in protecting the vulnerable. Nothing more. Protect the vulnerable. And that includes businesses, the economy, everything else. But we have to go, right. My thoughts on it are reasonable isolation. So, you can still go to the shops, these bits and pieces. The concern is not that people from, toddler to 60 will die. It's that they'll be too poorly to work.
Yeah. People are talking about the economy as if it's some evil of capitalism, but the economy is the thing that gets food delivered to you. It's the thing that keeps the lights on. It's the thing that, as you fucking toilet flushing.
Well, that's what I got told, capitalism above everything. No,
like
the basics.
Survival.
Yeah, the basics.
If you're going to have millions of people living over a few square miles, then you need constant links, constant transport. I think most people are past the flu thing now, though, aren't they? They're past it's the flu. I mean, saying that, I'm only saying that because I've been off Twitter, man. Like, guys, if any of you are using Twitter to gather information about this thing, stop now.
That's me. That's me.
Well, I know, and it's just bad, man, because it's misinformation and panic and nonsense. I mean, we got this here. I mean, I don't know where this has come from, but Ian just said Boris ain't giving up a nickel. The insurance companies must be leading hard on him. Capitalism, hey? No, they confirmed
380 billion.
Yeah, but not only that, they confirmed that they've. Here's the thing. Here's where we are right now. So yeah, there's the 380 billion that's been made available, billion. But not only that, they confirmed today that they've done a deal with the insurance companies, and if your business is affected by this, you will be covered. I know but if you go on Twitter, that's not the case. On Twitter, they're going, oh, the dirty bastards are getting out of it, and they're not classifying it as a thing. No. We are in a classification now as if the government has shut down these businesses because they are going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember, a lot of people are about to get sick and a lot of people are going to die. No matter what we do, no matter what, a lot of people are going to die by anyone's measure. So right now, they're just slowly easing us into it before we fully fucking lock down and shut places.
100%. What they're doing is it makes it easier to justify the more draconian approach because they can say, look, we gave you the chance. Luckily doing it at the point where, because all these people say we need isolation now. It's like, guys, the gate was wide open. That horse has long since fucking bolted. We are all, probably over 80% of the population, going to be infected.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's too late. They should have shut the borders weeks ago, but obviously that was a racist thing to do, apparently, even though planes don't check by fucking skin colour before they let people on. And the less politically correct countries are fuck off with the spelling of my name. But yeah, they're seeing like reduced. I mean, fucking Russia, man. Look at West Virginia as well. Not a case. Not a single case.
I've told you what's going to happen in West Virginia.
They've not got one though.
No.
They've just got like fucking enthusiastic hicks at the border.
But you know what's going to happen, don't you?
Just standing there like, no. Turn back, motherfucker.
Yeah, but Graham, you know what's going to happen.
What?
As the rest of the nation slowly gets over it, the third mutation that everyone else is immune to will ride through there like death on his white horse. But a lot of these people saying, well, Russia doesn't have as many deaths recorded. Since when do we trust them? It's like people saying to me, well, China got over it. It's like, what do you mean China got over it? Well, we could do what they did. Do you know what China did? They were welding people in apartments to starve to death.
Yeah. Have you seen today? They've just been expelling journalists from China and Hong Kong, Macau.
Of course, because they're lying through the fucking
Yeah,
teeth.
just they're pointing out. Well, they discovered a case going back to November. Officially, this is December. Although even that's a fucking rewrite of history, because th- apparently, anyway, these journalists are reporting on what is apparently a fact in that samples were destroyed. Things were just kept quiet, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're just getting rid of them all now, which is interesting because CNN has actually got a major base in Hong Kong, as I'm sure other news networks do. But they've got a lot of CNN International comes out of Hong Kong. So I don't know how they're going to get away with expelling journalists, especially as some of them are local. But no, in China, they'll just disappear and turn
Well,
up in
we have
3
to
years.
remember, don't we, that China sat on it for the best part of 2 months.
Yeah, China caused this, man. 100%. People are forgetting that.
And the doctors who were healthy, middle-aged people died. The ones that told the world we've got a problem. I mean, this is China. Since when do we go? Say what you like. The nice. It's China. It's a communist regime. It's
Yeah.
not nice.
And that's not advocating for attacking some Chinese guy on the street or anything. This is the Chinese government. It's
Yeah, of
an
course.
entirely different. But people are conflating that, as if he's. I mean, fucking. Did you see Trump said the Chinese virus? And obviously he's playing politics in the same way that Obama said British Petroleum.
Yeah.
When there was that oil leak, do you remember?
Yeah.
And they're not called British Petroleum; they're called BP.
They're not
because
even they're not owned by Britain anymore.
No. But Obama played politics in exactly the same way, and it was kind of scummy that he did that. But the World Health Organization had a full-blown press conference about Trump saying the Chinese virus, and it was all about don't call it the Wuhan cough. Don't call it. And the WHO are actually doing fucking conferences about hurt feelings right now.
During Boris Johnson's appearance today, Robert Peston, political correspondent for ITM, wasted precious time asking about his dad's comments. Because Boris Johnson's dad is like, well, sometimes you've got to go to the pub.
Yeah.
Fair enough, it's his life. That's... Whilst it's his choice, big fucking well. The press are fucking evil with what they're doing at the moment. They're not being straight with people. They're not being honest. They're reporting the oddest shit.
That's just. I mean, fucking Peston. Come on, mate. Come on. This is a time, and you know what? It's actually been all right. There's been some good cross-party stuff. I was watching Parliament today, and they were grilling. God, what's his name? The Chancellor. They were grilling him on the economic plans, and there was some good stuff that came up about rent and all that. And some of it was partisan, but you know what? Genuinely, I haven't seen a day in Parliament as good as today for fucking months, maybe years, because the opposition were genuinely challenging it and questioning it and bringing new perspective, and it wasn't just bullshit. It was like, oh, we actually have to do our fucking jobs now. We actually have to take this seriously. I was enjoying it. And questions about Boris's dad are not appropriate.
No.
Nobody gives a fuck, man. People are freaking out. This needs to be, taken very seriously.
Again, you're going to get people lashing back at it for political reasons.
Yeah.
I hate Boris, therefore everything he does is bad. We've got to get fucking past this because I'm very concerned. I'm not panicking, but I know that financially this could send me under. I also know that I've got my parents are both in their 80s. My father is a cancer survivor who had a stroke and is in kidney failure right now, getting dialysis 3 times a week. I've had to tell them they've got to stay at home for 3 months and trying to explain that, no, you can't go out to the shops. I'll have to bring a box down every few days. And, no, I can't come in and see you. Now, I can't go into too much detail about this. This is the attitudes we're facing. This is why we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
A man that Mrs. Hewitt met today, and by the way, she was definitely more than 10 feet from him, probably had COVID. Fever, cough, sore throat. His son was suffering the same. He rang 111. So, look, we've had this. He's had a fever, got a dry cough. I'm having trouble breathing. They told him to go into work. The people at work, nobody would take the responsibility going, go home. Nobody. It's just someone she knows. Because they saw each other. And she went to say hello, and he went, stay over there. So they had a conversation across, the length of a bus shelter.
Why has he gone in work? Why?
Because 111 told him to go into work.
I've a fucking. I'd just stay at home, Jesus Christ.
But what? Yeah, but not everyone's like that, is it? So he's worried about his job, and he rings 111, who said to him, "You're fine, go into work. You're fine going." Now, he'd have wanted cover, wouldn't he? He'd have wanted to ring in work and say, "Look, I can't come in. I've been on to 111. They've said stay at home." Now, legally, he'd have been within his rights just to stay at home anyway. But the fact is, people are worried. People are concerned. And, he was terrified. So he rang 111. They said, go in, and he's there. But no one would take responsibility, apparently, of sending him home. So, of course, when Mrs. Hewitt saw him, she was like, never mind what your boss is. Go home.
Yeah, just fuck off, man.
Go home. Shut your door,
Dude, though, this is it's funny because you got all the people on Twitter, going, wash your hands, you cunt, and all that nonsense. And then there's people in the know, there's people, but a lot of people haven't got a clue. People, when I picked my daughter up today from school, people were panicking. They were like, we just don't know anything. We don't know anything. And I was like, fair enough. There isn't a strong story right now.
No, Smoke Steve said he should be criminally charged, but I don't think he should.
Well, if he's phoned them, he's done what he's been asked to do,
and he was told to go into work.
If he hasn't got sense enough to do that, how did he get the fucking job in the first place?
Well, I'm not going to mention where he works or anything else. No. This is a man who's scared, and being scared, he's probably infected 30, 40 people with what he does, maybe more.
I tell you this though, man, it don't make a difference. It don't make a fucking difference
if
he goes in and stays home. I tweeted about this, didn't I? Like when I pick my girl up, because I go on the bike with a little seat for her. We usually go through the park anyway, but I was like, I'm definitely going through the park today because I want to see it all desolate on a sunny day, and it was hammered. I've never seen more kids playing basketball than I have today. It was the basketball court was packed. They don't give a fuck. All they know is that mum's panicking has kept them off school, but mum has to go to work and shit. And they're just the park. Every single bench had kids on it, like in little pairs and stuff. No matter what we do, no matter how much you panic and wash your fucking hands, they're just spreading it.
I guess Smoke Steve's saying fuck that shit. He's a free-thinking human being. He's willingly infecting people. He probably infected more people before he showed any symptoms than he did after showing symptoms. That's the thing, guys. We're gonna get it.
Do you want to hear some terrifying things directly from an infection control nurse who came down with COVID today? She's been treating people. She's got the symptoms. I think most NHS staff have been sent home. I mean, not been sent home. But she was so bad they were just like, go. But yeah, this is the latest. She told me that it lasts 3 hours in the air. So some fucker just driving by coughing. It can last 24 hours on card. So all those food deliveries and Amazon that you're getting right now to lock up, all that stuff, it can last a full day on there, up to 2 to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel, which is probably why they're trying to get everyone out of the restaurants at the moment, because all that cutlery, if it hasn't been washed properly, it can last up to 3 days. 4 hours on copper as well, but 3 hours just in the air.
Well, this is the thing with the panic. When I was in Tesco, I was in the queue for the kiosk there, and there was a guy. His trolley was fucking overflowing. I said, "What's all this, mate?" He went, "Well, panic. Everyone's buying, so I'll buy. Don't want to get the virus." And I said, "Dude, did you wipe the handle of your shopping trolley before you went in?" He's like, no. I said, have you touched your face? He went, I don't know. I was like, well, there's a good chance you got it then. Oh, he wasn't happy. I mean, we're going to get it. The trick is to stay away from those that are vulnerable. It's like, I won't go and see, well, I wouldn't go and see my dad right now. We're having a cold.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Because he's obviously incredibly susceptible to anything. But it's like, well, that's that part of my life for now is finished. I'm going to be we're going to be FaceTiming my parents, which in itself is a nightmare. And I reckon very soon, Junior's going to be off school.
You get this, don't you, when you FaceTime grandparents? Yeah. That's the angle you get. Hello? My mum's got used to it now, though, actually.
Oh, Smoke Steve, stop. You're sounding like an expert, and that's simply not true. Most of the spreading happens when a person is coughing and sneezing. Okay, did you not listen to what Graham just told you? If they coughed an hour before onto their hand, there's a good chance they touch a surface. That shit is waiting for you. They don't have to sneeze in your face or lick your eyes, although that would probably help. This shit is just lying there waiting, dude. It's waiting for you.
We were saying this earlier, though, weren't we? Like that Weinstein fucker, the rapist, he's probably licking toilets right now, isn't he? He didn't want to do 23 years or whatever it is in a New York prison. He's like licking all the bars as you go past, like, just please. Give me the COVID, someone.
Please, something.
I gotta say as well, again with the panic that's been happening, like there's been the 3-month mortgage holiday that's been announced, and people are really freaking out about rent. But rent is not the same thing. Everyone that pays rent has their own individual situation where they're paying a company or a private individual or a council or a thing, and everyone pays different rent or whatever. It's that something is coming in those lines, and I'll tell you in a second something that's already happened, so just calm down. But sorting out mortgages is different because you can talk to banks, which is what the government's done. Yeah. They've agreed with the banks. The banks are going to give people that holiday, and it's not like they're going to get 3 months for free.
No, it goes on.
It's just a holiday. It's just a vacation for paying it. So people are like, well, why can't I get a vacation from a rent? Well, it's like, well, yeah, but you'd still owe 3 months rent. What are you going to do? Like, but they have released 500 million to local councils so that if at the moment the situation is if you're in the shit and you are off, you can, in theory, get in touch with your local council, and their hardship funds are going to be through the roof at the moment.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good. But the thing is, the problem is though that is something that's being debated and sorted out right now. How do you do it? Because if they say, right, okay, we'll give people 3 months rent, that rent still needs to be paid.
Yeah.
It's not like you know that people can just suddenly, because then all the landlords will go out of business. So
I think it's going to be looked at as housing. It's going to be looked at as housing benefit, isn't it? An extension of housing benefit.
Yeah. Which they've already lowered the standards for dramatically, so it is possible. It's just but the problem is if they said tomorrow, right, 3 months nobody pays rent, which honestly would help. It'd be a big help for everyone, because even if you're still working and contributing, you've just got that weight off. Like, well, I've got a bit more money now.
Yeah.
Even if they just said that tomorrow, the amount of paperwork and red tape and processes that they'd have to do everyone would have to prove the rent individually and all that. It's money and time that we don't have now.
No, how it'll work, it'll be. I think it'll be much simpler, because obviously councils are going to be affected by how many people are off work and stuff as well. So I think it'll just be a case of, right, if you can't work and you're self-employed or you're 0 hour, whatever it is, you're not going to be evicted. That'll be the first thing they'll do, is lift that 3 month and you're out thing. Landlords are going to take a hit, but they are a business. So they will be able to claim on that as well, and then it will be back paid. It'll be backfilled by housing benefit at a measurable cost to the country, because some people are saying, why should we bail this one out? But this is the most essential bailout we could ever imagine.
Yeah, man, I ain't for government intervention, but this is an emergency.
This is what governments are for.
This is literally what they're for. This is the point where they actually have a use, and all the astonishing power that they have has a point, and it's but unfortunately they carry on with this. I
Astonishing power. Wait till you see what they got at the end of this.
I suspect though, the best way would be, and this is what they're discussing in America at the moment, would be just standardized payments. Like if everyone got, if everyone got 700 quid, and if you've got a kid, you get 500 on top of that. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to sort it, because they can just get you off your tax then. If you're a taxpayer, if you're a registered voter, if you've got a national insurance number, whatever, they can give you that money. You can pay rent with it or whatever. I think that's definitely something they're looking at, and that's probably the best way to go, because that's the lowest stress, lowest admin.
Well, that's the thing. If you give people their rent plus their shopping,
yeah,
and take that worry away from them, they will stay in. But when people are worried and afraid, because people are scared right now.
Yeah, terrified.
And when they're scared, and then so you got to use the police to force them in the houses, the economy suffers even worse. So the government, I don't believe our government are doing quite as badly as everyone else likes to make out. It's only been a day between announcements. This is a very fluid situation. And we could end up like Italy, where you have to go on a website and say why you're leaving the house. But you know what? In the short term, that's acceptable. These are wartime measures. That's all this is. My concern, obviously, is that they'll hang on to these powers at the end. But you know what? This is not the time to worry about that.
No, of course not. I'm honestly, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way it's going, because if they were brutally straight up honest about how bad this is going to get and how many people are going to die and how much tragedy is going to be, if they and this is the thing with the fucking journalists, and I get why they're doing it. They're just doing the job, but they're chasing that soundbite to create maximum panic, and it's like ultimately right now the government is doing and this is why it's a shame that there isn't that kind of respectful relationship with journalists and politicians as much as there maybe was at one time. Because right now they are very much in a thing where if any number gets said officially, because they made this mistake yesterday where they said, a best case scenario, was it 30 or 40,000 deaths?
Yeah,
I can't remember, but it was somewhere around that. They said that is a good outcome for this, and obviously that just got repainted in the press as this horrible, they're aiming to kill people.
Yeah, of course.
They're looking to kill people. And it's like, no. And it's just creating this astonishing panic. And then people are blaming the Tories.
The newspapers are printing fucking tweets as headlines.
They are. And they're scumbags because they don't need to, because everyone is going on the news anyway. Sky News had fucking 75. No, it got up to 82,000 viewers on YouTube alone today. The live feed for Sky News. When I put it on, 82,000. They don't need salacious headlines, man. People want to know. They've got a captive audience.
Can I just? I think, and as I said, we're not experts. A lot of this is our opinion, but we've got nothing to sell you in these terms. Someone's just said the only way to stop a global pandemic is isolation. You're not stopping this. Get that idea out of your head. Get rid of it. It's not going to be stopped. It's going to be controlled controlled. They're going to do the best to keep that curve as flat as possible until a vaccine is available. Locking yourself away, it'll be waiting for you when you come out. We have to protect the vulnerable until there's a vaccine. They told them stay in 3 months. It's going to be longer than that.
Oh, almost certainly. And here's the thing: I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying, but how sane are you gonna be, and how sane do you expect everyone else to be after being inside for a month?
I'll be climbing the wall. Poor Mrs.
It's
Stewart
already
will be beside
failed.
herself.
I mean, you saw those pictures of spring break. All the kids are out partying hard, man. They don't give a fuck, dude. When I went to Sainsbury's today. I Nobody cared. They were buying because they know they need to buy things, but it was just groups of students all together, laughing, texting. Nobody give a fuck, man. So it's like, yeah, you yourself can cut yourself off from the world, but you've got to think about it in terms of the mass. It's
Well,
you're not going to stop them, and
Harley's
you're not
just
going to
said,
stop kids.
no, of course not. And Harley's just said there's no vaccine. No,
Not
obviously
yet.
there isn't.
No,
Believe
no,
me,
no.
they're working harder on this than any other vaccine in recent history. In fact, probably history. They're knocking their pans out to come with a vaccine for this. And I imagine it'll be with us sooner rather than later. But sooner does not mean next week.
Dude, did you see the conspiracy theory about Israel saying, well, they've been working on it for a year? How did they know? And it's like, because coronavirus isn't a new thing, but just this strain is new. It's existed for ages. It's not like a brand new. So, yes, there's been research on
Yeah.
coronavirus, but just not
Well, I
this.
mean, there are many coronaviruses.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a novel coronavirus. It's a new one. Um, but yeah, it's just like, how did they know a year ago?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh mate, calm down, calm down.
I've just
I
seen
hope
here.
Israel gets there. I really do. It's
See,
so funny.
Farley's making a lot of claims. The bug will change and become less lethal. What if it changes and becomes more lethal?
I mean, it could do, could do.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
Blind Fury asks, when do you think the virus will come to an end in the UK? June. No, I think it'll be 2021.
Um,
Probably at least a year away before we're really on top of it properly, where we can go, all right.
it's looking like a year, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
I mean, which again is the thing with the isolation. How the fuck, like, oh, well, let's close the schools. Yeah, okay. So how does that work then? The weather's getting nicer every day. How do we keep kids inside for the next 6 months? It can't be done.
No.
It can't. Not without people just going mad, and not without the economy, which is our food and water and everything, just completely fucking up. We do have to think about that. And here's the thing: people in this country. Well, this country's closed the schools, and it's like, yeah, technically they did close the schools, but then they reopened them again to run daycares for all the police and teachers and healthcare staff and everyone, and basically everyone. They closed the schools technically, yes, but they just fucking reopened them again. It's not it's not feasible. If you're in a position to keep your kid at home, which I am, then good for you. But you've got to think about this on a population wide thing. As you said, Aidan, 70% of nurses have got families. What the
Yep.
fuck are they going to do? They're in a balance, a
Well,
careful
I mean,
balance.
even the government are talking, aren't they, that schools will only remain open in terms of childcare for frontline staff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
doctors, nurses, firemen, policemen, things of that nature. I mean, the thing is, you can take your kid to the park, but not to the play park. We're in for a really creepy, weird time.
I'm already seeing it, man. I'm already seeing parts of America where schools have closed, groups set up to keep the kids busy. It's like, what's the fucking point then? You might as well have kept them there. At least they're learning to read properly, and well, hopefully anyway, and finding out the trans. Dude, did you see this school's just got in the shit for that here, hasn't it? Because it had an astonishingly high rate of trans kids.
Yeah.
And they've just been sued now because most of them were autistic.
Oh, Jesus.
They're just the most vulnerable kids ever, in the woke crowd are like, well, you're obviously really a boy, aren't you?
Sometimes you wonder if this virus isn't such a terrible idea, don't you?
No,
You really do. Sometimes you think, maybe this is what we fucking deserve. Maybe this is it. Graham, are you all right to chat to the people for about 2 or 3 minutes while I go and blow my nose?
Yeah, sure, no problem, no problem.
Cheers.
Yeah, of course I am, man. Yeah, I'll get my notes up, see what I was going to talk about. Oh, actually, what I can do is, if I am full screen, guys, please, we have been demonetized. So if you want to help us out, I really, really would appreciate it, big time. Especially, he's left his mic on. Especially as all our work's just dried up. We were booking gigs, weddings, and all the rest of it, and you knobhead. Yeah, you can, if you go on the description of this very video here or go on triggerwarning.tv, you'll see links to merch, our PayPal is really appreciated. Patreon, obviously, if you want to set up a smaller but regular donation, we'd really appreciate that, because then we know where we stand. We've also got Streamlabs if you want to do that, and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And please connect to us. Follow us on Twitter. Get us all the ways. I'm really sorry I don't check my DMs, though. I'm awful for that. I am sorry. Please don't take it personally. I just never check them. And I get loads and I just forget. I forget, okay? Aiden, you dickhead, you blatantly just blew your nose right in the thing on purpose, didn't you? Let me get up one of my things. I got my screen grabs here. Facebook has just announced that it's going to give its employees $1,000 bonus. I really hope that obviously for private business, the size of Facebook, and there's plenty of them that are doing well. Not all businesses are on the knees right now. I really hope this catches on. I am not a believer in universal basic income. I think over the long term, it fucks up the economy. I just don't see any point in it. It's just guaranteed inflation, guaranteed fuck up. But I think right now, as a culture, it's definitely the easiest thing to do. And in America, if you didn't know, the Democrats and Republicans have both come together. So a similar thing that we were seeing in Parliament is hopefully happening here too, happening over there too. In that, the whispers right now is that it's going to be at least $1,000 payment, plus $500 for kids, which is fucking phenomenal, man. And honestly, it goes against what governments normally do, which is add bureaucracy and bullshit and means testing. And I was in Australia during the financial crisis, and I remember very clearly the whole world panicking, everything going wrong, and the government gave out $300 to everyone. It was a bit gutting for me because I was an immigrant, but I didn't become woke and start declaring it to be racist or xenophobic. I wasn't a citizen, so I didn't get $300. But it was fucking good, man. Games, media shops did TVs for $300, like deals. So there wasn't 4K then, but you could get yourself a HD TV, or you could get a PlayStation with a few games for $300. I think those sorts of things are really good, because if they know everyone's getting it, very low admin, very low, faff, but also people can get on board with it then, in terms of keeping the economy going, because money needs to move, man, always. And I really do hope that goes along with similar similar things to what we've got in the UK right now, which is business rates have been cancelled for a year if you work in leisure or whatever. Is he doing? Is he back yet or what? I can hear you fucking about. Oh, they can't hear you. They couldn't hear all that. They couldn't hear you blowing your nose really loudly down the mic. Fucking arsehole.
Yes.
I just did all that with Aiden just going fucking ages the whole time.
It was very productive.
Bless your little face. But no, I do hope, and it will come. But the thing is, though, be patient. Be patient. These ships are huge things, and it takes time to steer. I know everyone in the UK is panicking about rent, panicking about statutory sick pay, which is only £94 a week. But you've got to consider the fact that if you do get that sick pay, you are eligible for housing benefit. You will be eligible for emergency payments from your local council. It's not like, the thing. It's just a question of communication at the moment, and a question of things getting better. If they do too much too soon, it all just fucks up the whole thing, and it's already on a level. What are you giggling at?
Just one of the comments from Ian.
Well, the Hayden blowing his nose like a Pakistani granddad. Oh, guys, I don't know. Some of you already know this guy. But obviously I'm going to be doing some gaming streams during the day if you want non-COVID distractions, just fun stuff. But if you do want COVID fun, check out, what's his name? Steve O. Timothy. The Irish guy that does those little videos on. He's so fucking good at the moment. He's on fire. He's absolutely on fire, man. And I swear his rate of videos has gone through the roof. He's doing YouTubes and Twitter videos constantly.
He's awesome, though.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy, man, and he's just ripping the piss out of it. He was great during the election as well. And do you remember that? I'm voting Boris. And it's just like, and going on about Corbyn kicking babies and all that. Dude, I don't know how good this is a thing, right, Aiden, where I wasn't sure about the misinformation, but you know, the factories, a lot of factories are said to be repurposing like car plants and stuff to build ventilators.
Yeah.
And this is one of those where it seems like a good thing and a good idea. But I went on Twitter like an idiot to get information on it, and it was just loads of people going, impossible.
It's funny because we managed it rather well a long time ago.
I know. Well, these are the same people who defend Antifa by sharing like pictures from World War II, going, "Oh, there's Antifa for you," and it's like, yeah, but you're the same pricks telling factory workers they can't possibly do this, but the actual people who would have been there on the beaches, storming into certain death, they're the same people that are in the factories right now, going, right, how can we do this?
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, of course, we can repurpose. Now, it wouldn't be right if we didn't at least spend some of the time we have left talking about the glorious conspiracy theories.
Go on.
So, Corona, we'll do more of these over the coming weeks, I'm sure, as we become more bedraggled and housebound. But a video was shared, not with me personally, but shared on one of my timelines today with apparently some very useful information. It was an hour long. I didn't watch the full hour. Doubtless people could now accuse me of not doing my research. But essentially, germs and viruses are not airborne. That is a lie. They only exist within your body. The only way for a new virus to get in your body is via injection. The coronavirus, COVID-19, is a hoax. What people are suffering are the effects of 5G radiation.
I fucking knew it! I knew it, Aiden!
That's right. So, obviously, Iran is well ahead of us with 5G technology. And Italy and Spain and France and all the other countries that are outstripping us. And not forgetting all the underdeveloped countries who can't report on this, just bury their dead like they have to with everything else that goes around. No, it's 5G. 5G is giving everyone a novel coronavirus. And it's a hoax. And if we don't wake up to it, Graham, if we don't wake up to it, we're going to die.
Mate, they warned us about this 2 fucking years ago, didn't they? They said they'd be dead all over in the streets, they'd be. And it's all coming true. Yeah, so I believe that one. I'm going for it.
It's 5G. 5G is doing this. Not, so basically, 5G gives you pneumonia. That's what it does.
Yeah. So this checks out.
It's my favourite conspiracy theory so far, especially the fact that no germs live outside the body. So obviously, it's a hoax to get you to take the vaccine, which will be full of poison. Even though they're going to kill a lot of people with 5G, apparently, they still need to inject you with something else. So my suggestion would be to everyone that believes that, is that when a vaccine is offered, don't take it.
Yeah, well, again, I said this today, didn't I, man? This is why I'm hoping Israel gets it. Just because of the BDS crew. I want the BDS crew who've spent weeks having not researched this, just going, well, why don't they just give out a vaccine? And it's like, because it's not as fucking easy as that, dickhead. I really, really want people, specifically the ones that have got BDS in their profile on social media. It's got their name, their at, and then BDS right there. They want the world to know. I want to see like the mental hurdles that they have to do to convince themselves.
Sacrifice your grandparents to the cause.
Go on, tell Granny she shouldn't have it because
as I say, it's one thing not having a soda stream in your house, isn't it? But
yeah, well, that was the easy give up, wasn't it? Because they're not that great. Let's be honest.
They don't give up the computer technology, do they? Though.
No. They give up Soda Stream and they make sure they get avocados from somewhere else that I'm sure has brilliant human rights records.
What was that one when they got the Soda Stream factory shut down? Like something like 400 or 600 Palestinians were put out of
I know,
work
yeah.
because the
Which
Israeli
isn't
company,
funny, by the way.
the Israeli company built the factory near to the territories and employed Palestinians. Not because the second class, just because they employed Palestinians. That was the area it was in. So the BDS movement plunged 600 families into fucking poverty. So, right on, fight the power, brother. I imagine soda streams are made in China now. And be done
Well, they
with it.
like China, don't they? They're all fucking defending him.
Oh
even
yeah,
though they're
yeah,
just-
yeah. We
Like I mean, we started the show on this, didn't we? But it's just the lengths that people are going to now, and now though, people in America have just been arrested for accepting money off them. China were directly funding people,
oh
and they
China's
haven't
online
declared it.
China's online campaign at the moment is fucking magnificent.
Yeah. The cheeky fuckers actually taking advantage of this. Actually, and you know what, man? You know what? Trump was right. Trump was saying this before he got elected. Literally, and he got laughed at. Do you remember those videos of
Yeah.
Trump going, the montages of Trump going, China, 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 and everyone, and all the late night shows going, oh, China. And now, and then literally a month ago, the New York Times or one of those shit rags was going, well, it's unthinkable that China would dare to block medication or even threaten it. And then a month later, that's exactly what they're doing now. Exactly. And they're just fucking sucking their asses so deeply.
Oh yes, it's incredible. A big problem we got at the moment though is that a lot of our paracetamol is manufactured in India.
Yeah.
India not only have COVID-19, they now have 2 different variations of bird flu rocking about the place as well. They've gone hard instead of going home.
Here's the thing though, man. That a lot of places are scams. Apple does this as well. They'll say made in USA or made in the UK or made in Europe or whatever, but the actual ingredients were sent from China, and that's the issue at the moment. And it needs to stop. The most stark stat that I saw was the last penicillin factory in America closed in 2004. America right now, and I don't know European stats on this, but America has no facilities to produce penicillin right now. They are completely dependent on China, and that is just insane.
As awful
Absolutely
as it sounds,
insane.
and not to spread fear amongst our American friends, but as harsh as this disease could be over here, this virus, it's probably going to hit America far harder. The size of your population, the amount of ICU beds that you have available, and the fact that a lot of hospitals in the Midwest are essentially bankrupt at the moment already.
We're
in for a bumpy ride.
It's a free country as well, isn't it? They can't even if they told people to not go outside, it's going to be almost impossible to enforce. In terms of actually the social distancing. There's lots of people that are getting very, very anal about it, but let's be honest, they already spent 18 hours a day on Twitter anyway.
Oh, yeah.
They're more than happy to carry on staying indoors and sit there going, oh, don't be a twat, and all that, or a twat as they call it. But the reality is that America it's a free country, and if you tell an American they're not allowed outside after 8 p.m. as soon as it hits 8:01, an American more so than anyone else on the planet is going to have the biggest urge to walk the fuck out the door and no one tells it's just the way they are, man.
Just to jump in there, a quick one.
Yeah.
We're talking about conspiracies. Barry Murtaugh asks why Alex Jones wasn't using his Agenda 21 bullshit. Alex Jones has been pulled up for making false claims about some of his products being effective against COVID-19. So Alex is on it, whilst having a new DUI charge fucking thrown against him as well. Do you know he's younger than me? I didn't know that. Alex Jones is actually younger than me. I have so underachieved in my fucking life.
You know what, man? I love when Alex Jones takes his top off, man. I love that bare body he's got. There's something about it. It's the way he's because he's not like a particularly attractive man, but it's the way he stands there like he's Elvis, with his tits out, just going, "Come at me, bro." And I just fucking love it. Every Lip said people are taking it seriously. They are, but there's no way. It is so insanely and contagious.
Oh yeah,
There's, and you cannot separate people for the lengths of time needed. You just can't do it. It's not going to happen.
Lee's pointed out something we spoke about on the phone earlier: the queues around the gun stores in America.
Yeah.
So,
Which oddly enough are primarily in the cities at the moment. It's the gun control places. They've all suddenly realised the Second Amendment's good, which is funny,
well, of
isn't
course,
it?
you know what this means. Not only is there going to be a baby boom, which will put hospitals under more.
No, yeah, just in time for Christmas.
The accidental discharge rates are going to go up. Goddamn, shot myself in the ass again.
It'll be a few liberals that have had a bit too much craft
Still,
beer.
I don't doubt it, but they still count.
Right.
They still count for the statistics. You know, it's like Aphidlip's got a very hopeful thing that if everybody just stays inside, it slows it down. Yeah, but unfortunately, like we said, it's still waiting for you.
They're not. You're not going to stay inside though. For how long? You're going to stay inside for 6 months. Like, how are you going to get 370 million people to do that? It's not going to happen. People will get bored. People will decide, oh, it's calmed down now. Once the deaths go down, they're going to sneak to the park. They're going to go, you know what? Let's have a D&D. Let's have a little party with board games. And it's there. It's all coming back up. I promise you. I get what you're saying.
Must be heartbroken right now.
In terms of the guns, though, man, it's easy to mock it, but I get it. It's this, people are buying guns for the same reason they're getting toilet paper. It's because they're panicking because
you can't wipe your ass with a gun.
No, you can't, but it can give you a little bit of...
You don't have to explain it. I get it. Sorry, I'm just being a dick.
I know, but it's just safety, isn't it? It's safety.
It is, but it does.
It
still amuses the shit out of me. It's like
I know. I'm
going to panic buy toilet roll, hand cleanser, and a fucking gun. You know, it's like, okay, maybe some canned food might be a good idea. No, fuck that. I need toilet roll. Toilet roll, pasta, chopped tomatoes, hand sanitizer, and at least 3 guns to protect my toilet rolls and hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Pasta doesn't seem to be as much of a problem in America, but it's got a bit of more of a dirty vibe to it there, hasn't it? It's seen more as a junk food than it is here. I wonder if it's made differently, because over here the pasta went weeks ago, man. When my Aldi was still full and fine, the pasta was all gone straight away.
All I know is that in 3 weeks' time, there's going to be a lot of people sat at home with a lot of rotten food, saying, "I'm fucking sick of eating pasta and toilet roll. I wish I'd spent my money more slowly on things."
I honestly, I don't know what to do with all the bog roll I've got now, man. It's getting ridiculous, and yet I still keep going, getting more because it feels good.
Well, something like that with Mrs. Hewitt, they just reach a point where you go, well, fuck it if everyone else is buying it. But she bought like 2 packets of toilet roll, and she was like, I was trying to justify. I'm like, it's fine,
dude. Have you seen even Germany's closing its borders now? Spain's turning cars back from its own borders.
Oh, Spain, fucking hell! The Brits.
It's too late though.
The Brits stuck in Spain. That singer from my old band.
Yeah.
He went on holiday like a week ago to Spain. And his mates are on Facebook complaining that this has ruined their holiday. And I love the fact that the Brits were on TV, like they're all going, oh, we're still going out and getting pissed. And the Spanish police are like, they don't know how to deal with these people. And it's like, I feel so bad because obviously it's our shit that goes and visits your country. I'm terribly sorry. But you stuck with them for a while. And it doesn't matter how many drones you send out to shout at them. They don't fucking care.
Everyone's just there. Just go inside! Go inside!
And there's all these... It's not even summer, but there's all these scarlet English people drinking in the street at midday going, nah, it's fine, this, you get a bit of a cold and you're on your way again. Fucking God save the Queen.
My favourite was this morning. Sky were on in New York filming the empty streets, and there was just this old Welsh couple just on holiday out in New York, and they did little, you know, man on the street interview with him, and they were just like, everywhere's closed, and it's like, yeah, why would you, like, they've just arrived in New York, why would you go there for like a long weekend or whatever? Like, what were you thinking? Like, have you not got Google? Why would you even go to an airport at this point in time? I mean, for essential things, yeah, I get that, but to just go to New York and hang around, no way, fuck that.
Can I just say, Aphidlip there has said this is very similar to the Spanish flu. Self-quarantine is the only thing that stopped it. No, what stopped the Spanish flu was killing 100 million fucking people. It was running out of fresh meat. And then some sort of herd immunity built up out of those that was left. Quarantine, is that the answer? It's a bit like that. If we all stay in the house, only 100 million of us will die.
The thing is, though, man, like you as an individual can do that and weather it out. You can do that, but it's the conversation is about population level. What happens? You can't do it. Was it Monday? Was it what day is it today? Yeah, Monday. Yesterday, there was a massive thing about school strike. Well, I'm not going to wait till the government tells me. I'm pulling my kids out. My daughter's class was half full. Half the kids were just gone. And like I said, the park was packed. It didn't even last one day keeping people indoors. It was fucking hammered. You as an individual can do it. I've not been going out. Fuck that. I've been staying in here. Although my brother's coming around to work. He didn't even wash his hands. But
I know. I remember that when I was on the phone.
It's just not possible.
Oh,
At
God.
some point, you're going to have to get food, but mostly people are going to get bored and rebellious. They're going to start losing their minds. They can't. People just don't have it in them, man. I get what you're saying, though. I do. Yeah.
But I would like to point out that whilst quarantine might have been successful in ending it, 100 million fucking people died. Can we keep that figure? And that's when the world's population was far smaller and our countries were far less densely populated. It's not the answer. It's part of it. And also, social distancing isn't quarantine. Social distancing is about quarantining the most vulnerable to protect them, while the rest of us get on with the business of being infected slowly. That's all it is. It's managing the speed of infection.
Yeah, that was I think Alex has just said about Tesco. They've got a free slot available mid-April. I actually went on Asda today. I don't do online shopping. I just wanted to know what the situation was, and they were completely booked up for the next 10 days. So if you even if you did want food delivered to you, you're waiting 10 days.
I know, guys. He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
In reasonably good health, but he does have some underlying problems. So he's basically in that demographic, but he can't get a home delivery until next week. Now, I can't. He lives the other end of the country. It's not like I can nip down. It's not like a close personal friend, but he's someone I've got to know. But if you've got no close friends, I mean, he probably has, but if you've got no family, what do these people do? They have to go out. And if they go out, there's a very high chance they're going to get infected because they're old. And instead of 3 or 4 days in bed like the rest of us, and they're a couple of weeks in the house, they're going to die. They're going to fucking die. And all these pricks panic buying have made it even more likely that they're going to die.
I think it's. I think this 7 days though. I think it is going to accelerate. They're getting used to people right now. The official guidance is if you've got either of the two main symptoms, you isolate for 7 days. That's the thing, isn't it? And your family members, they've now upped it. Family members for 14 days. Yeah. So they're just slowly bringing it in, and I think it is. People are going to get locked down, but yeah, I think that the point is with Aphidlib. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying there's a reason they've brought it in as slowly as they have done. And it's easy to look at what the current situation and go, they're not doing anything. But the point is they need to bring this shit in slowly, because if they do it all now too soon, we're fucked later on. I mean, one of the models had, right, so you got the models of like, if we do nothing, and it's like deaths, and then isolation's a lot less. That a lot of people aren't looking. The actual models, it's got massive deaths, but then if you isolate too much, the massive deaths still happen just a bit later down the road when everyone relaxes. It is. I get the flatten the curve thing, but even that is really fucking difficult to understand.
Oh yeah.
I just think it means stay inside, and it doesn't. because all these self-obsessed, narcissistic arseholes are going to smugly tweet away for the next 2 weeks and then just carry on going out with their lives
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Of course they fucking will.
Blaming Boris.
Blaming Boris, which is nonsense, man. He's doing his best. There's no matter what they do, there's positives and negatives to every approach. And if we just focus on the negatives all the time, we ain't gonna get through any of this.
It's whatever makes people happy. You know, I guess as long as they're just whining about it on the internet, if they just do as they're fucking told. It's one of those times. There's times to rebel against power, and there's times to go, do you know what? It might be not a bad fucking idea, this. This is one of those times it might not be a bad idea. Now, I know I was toying with the idea if we're going to be doing daily shows, but I don't know how much value I had. I wanted to go and talk to some of the businesses in within a 10-mile radius. They're predominantly bars, restaurants, not chains.
Yeah.
And see how they're dealing with it. But I don't know how much value it would add, to be honest. Maybe which is more personally interesting for me until I'm not allowed to go out and film anymore. But I know a lot of them are saying, look, we've upped all our cleaning regime and we're going to stay open until we're told not to. Please support us. Please support us. But there's, a lot of these are brand new businesses that might not have the insurance in place. It's just strange, grim, weird, fucked up times.
Yeah, dude, there's a little cafe near me that does a really nice little kids thing, and I usually take my girl in like once a week, and they give you a banana and a little sandwich and a nice drink and all that. And I went past it today and I looked in, and there's no masks. They're all smiling and serving still, and people are still in there. Great for them. But I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going in there. No way on earth, man. I don't care how much they're cleaning it. I'm not doing that.
Well, what is it? McDonald's from tomorrow are only doing takeaway.
Really?
Yeah, they're not going to let you sit in, so you got less time to spread your germs, I guess. My advice would be don't use those screen things to order your food.
Do you know what?
And then rub your eyeball. I wouldn't do that.
I got McDonald's delivery on Sunday. I'm literally like, McDonald's, I won't go there. And I'm thinking, I literally have McDonald's 2 days ago. If I get sick now in like 3 days, it's probably the fucking McDonald's, isn't it? The delivery. It's funny, isn't it? I like the hypocrisy. I'm like, McDonald's.
Well, look at the things that have been brought in. The government are in talks with Uber and Just Eat, and I think Deliveroo as well, about deliveries to old people, which, of course, the people on Twitter jumped on. We shouldn't be giving them junk food. They're not going to drop them off fucking curries and kebabs, mate, although that does sound really good. It's the delivery infrastructure the government want to utilise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's queues right now, isn't there? If you want to go online shopping, there's queues just to get on the website. Yeah. Never mind booking a delivery slot. The websites are so overloaded because everyone thought, not our lot, though. All the triggerists. 6 weeks ago, they bought extra stuff in because they want trigger warning.
I didn't.
They're good for that. Hey, dude,
I just go to the shop where there's loads of stuff.
I'm just gonna have to go for 1 second, man. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, you go take care of business. But yeah, I just go to the shops, which still have lots of stuff in them, especially your corner shops. That's where you get from, because it's like I got a 7-year-old kid. He's had a lot of concerns. We had the chat this morning. He heard about underlying health issues, and he panicked. I said, "Well, what's wrong?" He said, "What about you, Dad?" I said, "What's my underlying health issue?" He thought my hand would be an underlying health issue. I had to explain to him that we're going to get ill, we're going to get poorly, and then we're going to get better. And as long as we look after Grandma and Grandpa and your Nana in the care home, which is a huge concern, it'll be okay. It will be okay. But it seems that kids haven't been given this message that it will be okay. So wrapped up in worst case scenarios and stockpile and be afraid and be terrorized that no one's taken the time to stop these kids in school and go, by the way, it's going to be all right. It's like my son, he had a chest infection about a year or so ago. I said, do you remember how you felt with that? And we got that little inhaler and, you're a bit breathless. I said, it's just going to be like that. And you were okay with that, weren't you? And he's like, yeah. I said, well, it'll be the same thing. Granted, it'll actually be a little bit worse, but he doesn't need to. He might not even be affected. I will. It's a given. I will. I'm a fucking walking disgrace. But it seems no one's taken the time to sit the kids down and say,
My,
"You're going to be all right."
my little, I mean, she's only 4, but she's getting wind of it now. Like she said a couple of times, she just and it's definitely like I don't know where she's heard it, but she goes, if you get a cough, you have to stay home, Daddy. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
aware, I'm aware.
Well,
And, she's mostly the way she's interpreted it is every morning she goes, Daddy, I'm poorly, I'm staying home today, and it's like, no, you fucking not.
well, Junior tried it on this morning, didn't he? He said, when I got up, he went, "I've been sick." I was like, "Oh." He said, "But I've cleaned it up."
I know, yeah. Oh, did you? Oh,
I was like, "Hang on,
yourself.
you've not cleaned up after yourself in your
This is
life."
first.
But I'm supposed to believe it. And then when he came down, they basically coughed up a bit of mucus. He said, "I've had a bad cough, though." I said, "Yeah, but you've not coughed for half an hour, sausage, because you didn't think I could hear you." And then in the end, we had a chat about this is maybe not the best time to wangle a day off school. And then I said, "But don't worry, son, there's plenty of time off coming up. So
Yeah, you've
it's
got.
fine."
Yeah, I don't think. I suspect anyway. Because there's no way of knowing for sure. I suspect that Easter holidays are going to be extended, aren't they? Because this is going to get way worse.
I think
way worse.
I
before
still
it gets better.
think, and I chatted with a couple of people about this, but I was talking about this again with Mrs. Hugh today. I think this week might be the last week of school.
Yeah,
Then we'll have 2
well,
weeks
yeah.
of the Easter holiday. And I reckon it'll go on a bit beyond that as well.
Yeah, I think the Easter break will be the thing that kills it. They'll just, and that's probably what the government's thinking. Because it gives people chance to adjust because they're already making some kind of allowance. But it's one of them, though, isn't it? Though they have to think about the healthcare situation right now. It's preparations, it's epic preparations that a lot of people are going to need very serious hospital care and the NHS announced today or I don't know if it's NHS wide yet, but I know the hospital in Manchester there's no more outpatients.
No.
There's no more elective surgery. It's all prep. It's emergencies, ER, and then just all coronavirus prep. Cup of tea, what you're about? Why doesn't Graham get a job? I'm a pimp. You know I'm a pimp. I work fucking hard.
So, we got one there from Beats Crate said, "I've got a corner shop across the road and an Asda at the end of my road and 0 cases in my town. Almost guarantee at least one person in your town is infected. None of us are going to be spared. None of us will be spared."
Hey, but you know what? If this gets people like observing a little bit more basic hygiene, then long term it's going to be a fucking win, innit? If I stop seeing people just coughing. And
Oh,
spitting
no.
streets.
They'll forget all about it by this time next year. It'll all be done and people will go back to how they are. And everyone will be saying, "Oh, do you remember those selfish bastards that did all that panic buying?" And I mean the people that did the selfish fucking panic buying will be saying it. And we'll move on to the next. And then in another generation, there'll be another fucking epidemic, pandemic. And they'll do exactly the same things. Sutty's just asked me how rich he is. I've not spoken to him. I've not been able to get hold of him. So I'm imagining he's okay. I know he put a message out that he was going to return next week, but I've not managed to get hold of him. So as soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah, Gorgeous Jaws has got it right there, hasn't it? Isolate yourself if you feel sick. That's it. That for the most part, yeah. Unless you're working, if that's exactly right. It is, and we just got to hope that the government brings in appropriate protections for people so they're not losing their homes, and losing, so they can fucking feed themselves and get on with it. The Vapist has said there that no deal Brexit prep has helped. Did you see that story going around? Because obviously we prepped for being like isolated at its absolute worst, and apparently some of that stockpiling is now looking very, very tasty. all that supposedly wasted money stockpiling stuff.
My advice is
now.
My advice is to go on social media and tell people how beneficial Brexit has been and watch them just lose their shit.
Do you know why that story went round and why the government sort of had to clarify that. It's because the Independent put out a piece saying that because of Brexit, we wouldn't be allowed a vaccine.
Oh,
Apparently,
Jesus,
apparently
yeah.
Europe were going to withhold it because we wouldn't be part of the European medical whatever anymore. So apparently, because of Brexit, they would withhold the vaccine, which is the most insane bollocks I've ever read in my whole life. Like, why would Europe? Why why would they do that?
They wouldn't.
It makes no sense. Well, you Brexited, so no.
Yeah. You die. Well, someone from The Guardian followed me today. I must say hello.
Oh yeah. It finally
Hi.
your hot takes are getting noticed.
Well, if I'm locked in the house for 3 weeks, my hot takes are only going to get fucking hotter because I'm going to be getting cranky as fuck.
I know you've been ramping up your Twitter usage, haven't
Oh, yeah.
you? I can't stand it at the moment. I can't stand Twitter. It's just a sea of misinformation and
I even
ill-informed, panicking.
I even got in
freak.
an argument on Facebook today, so I'm actually expanding my operation. And I know I shouldn't, but you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them all. I am going. What this virus does to the country, I will endeavour to do to social media in my own little way. You know, if I can just be a single grit of sand in the Vaseline of life, I'm going to do exactly that.
Well, that was it today. I saw someone going on about how they're just protecting their big business mates, and I'm like, no, small businesses are getting more attention. And I started replying to someone. I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not going to sit here all day arguing with some cunt on Twitter. Just let them live in their own little bubble of bullshit, and I just can't do it. And I didn't want the fights. That's why I went on the game. I was like, no, doing the game.
Oh, you know me, I can't resist though, can I? I just can't resist. It's too enjoyable. It's too delicious.
My brother's working here again tomorrow, so I'm almost certainly going to be back on that game. I really want to carry on with it. It was exciting. It was really good fun. I liked it.
Like I say, I will stream some of the VR stuff through the week, but we are going to try and do some form of daily contact with everybody as isolation increases. We will be family. Oh yes, one big dysfunctional family. So it might be on TW radio, it might be via video. Hopefully we'll be at the studio this Thursday, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to talk about that, don't we?
Yeah.
We've not really had a conversation yet. A lot of people moving through that building.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, you know, there's an enhanced risk of it turning up at my house anyway. So
we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Play that one by ear, but each day, meat space, guys. No, the meat space just isn't going to happen. I'm sorry, we won't be allowed to.
We can't. Like literally, when we were going to book it, like we had the rough day, end of Easter break and all that, and it's quite literally when this is supposed to be peaking. Like we're on the fast up right now, and as it's curving was meat space. And let's be honest, we don't necessarily have the youngest audience around. We might by the end of the year we might have accidentally killed half the triggerists.
Yeah, but we'll be together, guys. That's what matters. We'll be there virtually holding your hand as you shuffle off into the void. We'll be there for you. Notice I dropped the voice a little lower to be more comforting. If my nose wasn't blocked, I'd have a little more inflection as well.
Should we? So Aidan, before we boogie, then should we agree now on air so that we're kind of stuck to it? Then should we do 10:30 again tomorrow? We'll just check in, even if it's just half hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share some gossip.
That's over the next week or so. I'm going to try and work on the app, which if you're on an Android device, it'll be free. It'll have all the trigger warning stuff off, and TW radio, and the stream, and push notifications, which obviously you'll be able to turn off. It won't do any snooping, anything. There'll be nothing embedded in it, and it's just a way of keeping in touch, sharing news between us all. I'll try and do something at the website, see how people with iOS can add it to home screen. So, because I can't do an iOS app, I can't develop one. I don't have an Apple computer. I'm not fucking about with emulators, and it's just too expensive right now. But we'll do everything we can to keep in touch, share the knowledge that we have, and have some fun. Get away from what's going to be a pretty grim fucking time, and we'll do some game streams, and we'll hang out, and we'll do whatever we can to keep us all together and just doing what we do. So make sure you guys keep in touch as well. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Hey, we never get to say that, do we?
No.
We'll be back tomorrow night at 10:30, where we'll probably say exactly the same things as we said tonight, because that's how we roll.
That was it, guys. If you wanna read up on, look, I've been doing my best to read up on everything, so I'm not just sort of just chatting shit off the top of my head. But if you look up the UK influenza pandemic strategy 2011, so if you just look up UK influenza strategy 2011, it's like 70 pages, but you can get through it if you want to have a look at what the government is doing and why. That's the closest framework for what's going on right now, and it'll calm you down.
I remember distinctly only a few years ago when we were stacking the corpses of influenza victims in refrigerated trucks outside hospitals. We were stacking them high, and that was just the flu.
That's. I mean, here's the thing with not panicking, dude. But that's happening. That's going to be happening.
Of course,
there's going to be temporary morgues. I already know where they want. Well, because obviously
there'll be burials without funerals.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that side of things. But
no, there will be.
Body storage. The temporary buildings have already been ordered. It's all happening. It's going to get worse. It is.
Well, so the important thing is, we'll be there with you. Don't forget to donate before you go bankrupt. I know Alex has put all the info in there, but we'll be there with you guys. So we're going to go. We'll be back tomorrow night at 10:30. We'll schedule that shit right away. Night, everybody. Take care. And be safe. And if you can't be safe, just nip out and lick someone's eyes. Fuck it.